Hey guys, not very often am I speechless when it comes to a rod and reel combo, but I am now. This is the most high-end combo that I've ever owned in my life. 2021 Shimano Exsence C3000 MHG paired with a brand new NRX Plus. This is an 822 SYR mag medium. This is a shaky head rod, and I'm going to be talking about these two rods, or this combo, in the next couple videos. This video we're going to talk about the Exsence, the 2021 Exsence that Shimano just came out with. After this short intro, we'll get into it.
Gotta get your arms way up in a cast and set the hook on a smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a Loomis right. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it a whirl. Hello, welcome to my world.
So if you know anything about Shimano, you know the Exsence is not quite the top of the line, but it's really close. The only thing above this, in my opinion, is the Stella. But this is a brand new redesign for Shimano. This is the 2021 Exsence C3000 MHG. Comes in at a whopping 6.4 ounces, I believe. 6 ounces for the reel. Talking about some of the stuff that this thing has that's different. It's not really different. Let's just talk about the specs and stuff that this thing has. Again, it does come into, I think, around 6.4 ounces. And that is absolutely phenomenally light. I'm talking about a magnesium frame. It has the Hagane gear, has a Hagane body. It has X-Protect, rigid support drag, X-Ship, rapid fire drag system. Again, G-free body, which we're going to talk about all that in this video. But this is absolutely the most high-end combo that I've ever had in my arsenal, and I am super pumped up about getting this thing. When I say that it's been a dream come true for me to be able to fish the best on the planet, in my opinion, that's Shimano and G Loomis. I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be able to own a combo of this stature and this price point. But the help of you guys out there viewing my channel and stuff, I was able to pick this thing up with some of my YouTube money from last year, which is, you know, I'm super thankful for you guys. Now, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I appreciate it if you would do that. If you like Shimano and fishing, that's what my channel is about. But enough about me. This reel right here, again, this is a brand new redesign for Shimano, the 2021 fishing season. This is the Exsence C3000 MHG. The Exsence only comes in two frames. It comes in the 3000 and the 4000. The 4000, you're getting a bigger spool, you're getting more drag, you're getting more line retrieve per crank. I think this one's 35 inches per handle crank, and the other one is 40. I believe that's correct. 35 on this one, 40 on the other one. Again, you're going to get the Magnum Light rotor. Magnum Light rotor, if you wanted to, you know, put it into perspective what the Magnum Light rotor does, it's obviously a lot lighter. It requires less inertia to get this thing started and stopped. I was watching JP DeRose's video months ago about this exact reel, and he put it very, very, you know, bluntly that you're going to have a less hard time starting and stopping this rotor as opposed to like a Stratic FL, which doesn't have the MGL rotor. It's a lot lighter material. It takes less effort and less inertia to get this handle spinning. That is one of the main upgrades of this reel. Then if you don't see the MGL rotor on even a Shimano reel, it is definitely an upgrade in my opinion for the MGL rotor. The old Stratic CI4 had it. I'm pretty sure the Vanford has the MGL rotor. But going through the list of things here, you got the Hagane gear. Hagane gear is the main drive gear in here, and what that means, Hagane gearing, means that it's a one-piece cold forged or cold pressed gear. It allows tighter tolerances, allows the material of the metal to not be affected as much by heating it, whether that be cutting it with a CNC mill, or I know there's some people that do laser engraving in this stuff, or you know, if it's a cast material like a zinc cast gear or whatever. It's going to have higher tolerances, it's going to be less noisy, and it's going to be have a longer life. It's going to be the life of it is going to be longer with the cold forged Hagane gear. You also have the Hagane body. Hagane body in this case is magnesium. And again, referring back to JP DeRosa's video that I watched a few months ago, most people think Hagane body or the magnesium and salt water not mixing. That is true to an extent, but is not the case when it comes to Shimano reels. These things actually have the SARB, which is sealed anti-rust bearing. A lot of people have that in mixed up SARB, thinking that's sealed anti-reverse bearing. That is not the case. SARB, sealed anti-rust bearing. All the bearings in here, or most of the bearings, are sealed, so if you get that salt water and stuff in the reel, it's not going to go into the bearings, and they're anti-rust, so it's not going to affect the reel life down the road. Another thing that this thing has, it has X-Protect, which is a labyrinth system inside underneath the spool that causes water to basically get wicked away from the internal components of the reel and keeps salt water or fresh water, any kind of water, out of the most core areas of your reel, and that's going to cause the reel to perform better for a longer amount of time, whether that be not only in salt water but fresh water as well. So magnesium, Hagane body. You have what's known as the propulsion system, which is this, I don't know if I can get my camera to focus in here on that, but you can see that this area right here it's angled there. What that's going to do, it's going to cause the line to come off of here when you cast a lot quicker, a lot better. And it also, another thing that this thing has, first off, it has micro module 2 gearing. So another thing that's going to allow you to get farther casting distance out of this Exsence new for 2021 is the AeroWrap 2 system. The AeroWrap 2 system basically allows the spool to go up faster and down slower, or down slower and up faster. I'm not sure which one it is. I always get those confused. But one way the spool goes up and the way it goes down, one of them is faster than the other, which causes a weave of your line that's going to be a smaller X like this. And as it goes up and down the reel. And the reason that is that if you have line that lays flat like this on top of each other, when you set the hook, what's going to happen is the line that's connected to the fish or the snag or whatever you have, it's going to cut into the reel, and it's going to cause the line, when you go to cast it or whatever, it's going to get caught up in itself. And the worst case scenario is the lure doesn't even cast. Gets caught up, and I've seen people actually drop their rod and stuff that way, because especially if they're throwing a big lure, it kind of jerks the rod out of their hands. But with the AeroWrap 2 system, again, it moves up or down faster, one or the other. Again, I'm not 100% positive about that, but it creates this small weave pattern of line, so it's constantly hitting against itself so it doesn't cut into the line. Those of you guys that use like Power Pro braid and stuff like that, if you don't have a reel that has that, you're going to notice that happens a lot more often than it should with any reel. And that AeroWrap 2 system actually changes that and denotes that or negates that from happening. Another thing that's in the 2021 addition to the Exsence is the G-free body. And what that does is that gets the center of gravity more towards the handle of the reel. The heavier stuff is towards the top of the reel. It's above the handle. And what that does, it gets the center of gravity closer to the fisherman's hand, which allows that thing to not have a lot of G-forces when you're spinning it. It also keeps the feel of the reel closer to the rod, which gives you more balance and, in my opinion, more sensitivity. Those of you guys that own a pre-2021 Exsence, there's a lot of things here that you're going to notice are a little different. First off, there's some different cuts here in the bail, or I'm sorry, in the spool. You can see they're like straight up and down, whereas the other one's a little different than that. Another thing that I've noticed here, let me get this thing out a little bit. This thing has, I think it's called silent drive, I believe. So what happens is when you're reeling this thing, you're not going to get that I don't know, it's like a whirling sound, or you hear it when you're spinning any kind of spinning reel. The silent drive allows that to keep it a lot quieter. It's basically tighter tolerances on the gears and stuff, so there's no movement in the gears, there's no slop in the gears, so it allows the gears to be less noisy, again, and that is I'm pretty sure it's called the silent drive system. But if I can spin this thing up here, one of the things that I really noticed right off the bat when I pulled this thing out of the package, and I really like it. I don't know what this thing is right here. If I can get my rod without breaking it here. It's tight quarters, but if you guys can see up underneath that, the spool there's like a silver dust cover. I assume that's what that is. Maybe it's to protect the water from going in there. But that's a really nice feature of the reel. Again, I'm not sure that has anything to do with the fishability of it. Maybe just an actual point of like sexiness, for lack of a better term. You're getting a one-piece bail, which is a bail wire here. It's all one piece. There's no cuts in it, so you don't have to worry about your line getting caught up in that bail. It's all one piece. Tighter tolerances again with the 3000. You do get the paddle handle. This is not available in a 2000, 1500 like normal. This is only available in a 3000 and a 4000. The 4000 I think is 7.4 ounces. This is don't quote me on this, but I think it's 6.4. And so even at the 4000 series, it's going to be lighter with the magnesium frame things than say like an Ultegra or something like that, even in the 3000 series, which is really cool. And you're getting that with the the magnesium frame, MGL rotor. You're getting a lot of cool stuff within this reel that puts you in that high dollar price point. Easily the sexiest reel I own. I love the matte black finish. Super awesome. Have this thing paired up with 15-pound Super Slick V2, Power Pro, and Moonshine. Let me see if I can get some line out here, and I'll try to reel it so you guys can hear it. Pretty crazy, the silentness of it. I should just take the reel or the lure off there. You're hearing it beat on things out here in my basement, but let me peel some line off here. I'll put this thing really close to the microphone. Sorry, I'm going to look crazy here, but really close to the microphone. It is absolutely silent drag. Really nice click sound. I think it's 20 pound of drag on this. 25 for the 4000 series. Running through the list of things it has, again, Aero Wrap 2. This is a CI 4 Plus body, G-free body, which means again you're getting all the heavy stuff above the the spinning handle, which causes the reel to feel more close centered to the reel seat, which is a major difference in the balance of the reel and the way it feels and the way you fish it as a fisherman. Hagane body, Hagane gearing. We have X-Ship, which is something I haven't talked about yet. X-Ship is the dual bearing supported pinion gear, which allows for less torque and less I guess movement of the internals of the workings of of all Shimano reels that have the X-Ship, but especially this one. MGL rotor, micro module 2 gearing, one piece bail again, propulsion system, which is the lip here that's actually been cut. It's not straight, allows the line to come off there a lot quicker. Rapid fire drag, you do have some clicks in here, you can hear that. Ridges support drag, I mentioned that earlier, but I didn't really talk about it. Basically what that does, allows the drag to be supported. This is a cross carbon drag, just like you come to expect from Shimano, but it causes the drag to be more upright and rigid, as opposed to being able to cant one way or the other, and allows the drag to come off a lot smoother. No matter what situation you're in, fighting big fish or whatever, it automatically comes off as it should, as opposed to putting a cant or a tilt in the spool and the drag and causing the spool to cant or tilt and putting more friction on the drag in one spot or the other. That keeps that from happening, allows the drag to come off a lot smoother. Of course, you have the SARB, which is a sealed anti-rust bearing. Again, a lot of people have that mixed up with sealed anti-reverse bearing. That's sealed anti-rust bearing. X Protect, which again is the labyrinth in here that keeps the internal components of the reel drier. It keeps the water away from them. And again, I mentioned a second ago, last but not least, is have X Ship. So they're just an absolute unit of a reel. I'll be putting a video out, guys, talking about this rod and reel combo very soon. I went out fishing with it the other day. First time I had this thing in my hands. Absolutely the best fishing rod that I own as far as finesse techniques. But we're going to be talking about the NRX Plus 822 SYR, which is the shaky head rod here, coming up in a video very soon. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. But this is undoubtedly the highest end combo that I have in my arsenal. MSRP, as far as I know, for the 2021 Exsence is $779, and then the SYR here is $625, if I'm not correct, or if I'm not mistaken. So crazy awesome reel. You're going to be seeing this thing in a lot of my videos coming up. And it's absolutely the most high-end rod, probably the highest end rod and reel that I'll ever own in my entire life, and it's one of the reasons I fish Shimano G Loomis. These things are absolute beasts. Guys, I appreciate you watching this episode of On Another Line, talking about the Shimano Exsence C3000 MHG new for 2021. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it if you would do that. And tell some friends, come over and subscribe. I've got a 4,000 subscriber goal by the end of this year. It's looking meek, but I do have a chance. Guys, if you can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.